enjoy yanko pon bia nso be nya sabita freche ho a wayar ma waye bi ahun pon won di yehu nkrofo a woni haw
in fact we fully fit
yes
also a friend so
yer ka the mon nkrofo no join the yehu wo street no do
okay
the other issue is that emofoma ya why the madi ahun so won school no so wo kwandan because if I in Africa, most of the African countries, ya akwana ye the answer kashe the UPA, the universal primary education, I say. Because we are signatories to the more sustainable development goals and on SDGs. At the end of the day, the more from now, I want school no work on him. See, are they saying that Wabahan it should be the burden of the country to educate these people? It's only thing on that way, on other way fast.
Okay.
It's a man Ghana ya challenge put there the more a how when you be if you see immigration for yes someone. Why you fine?
Okay.
Now one call.
All right.
It be no say there. You won't pay for be with them. I want to work for one about. As they are going through the profiling, I believe that they will be identifying some of these things so that we'll nip them in the back and move on. Okay. That is the most important thing.
All right. Sir Nuruddin, my friend, the commander, and I know so yatinenka on this or your issue. No, yes, but see what had they now for ya coin and na your substantive issues are. And I'll go pondo no your tomb not years won't come on international time or 3:35. As usual, will make time near tomb issues in no. Ya discuss ma. Yan task near to me, I'll coin and and then by me catch on no. What text message has about 0244 743143 0244 743143 as about my can number 2 of the Bacamina and you bring me chill Masako message, you know, my can number Kofia come what I say. And you bring another new breed. The first issue we are going to discuss about the home come yeah, issues about the economy. And then I make catch in my intro no. His Excellency John Dramani on the thank you tour or the Upper West region wa. And I will tell me there. In the city, we started on now was in our course. We are gaining. In fact, and you remember in a way, now my check or the rate at Bank of Ghana was happened in the was a copy. Or yeah, dollar ni na say atwa. In the kita winsome 12 cedis 39.38 pesos. And as a benyabi. And I feel so I quite Toby so about 12.40. And I want somebody Kevin watch this sitting now was in Oguda or Kosser. Now His Excellency Dramani Mahama and someone came a can be big a craving wahade, na yen soon seem not yen's own common. Also, since taking over the reins of government, our focus has been on stabilizing the economy. He said, we therefore presented to Parliament in March this year a budget which was aimed at severely trimming expenditure and channeling saved revenue into proprietary programs, as promised in our manifesto. In fact, I am happy to report to you that our efforts to stabilize the economy have begun to yield results, and it is evident in the improved performance of our local currency and also gradual reduction of prices of goods and services in the market. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the Otumozi way. Tugwa, he went a step further. But Bank of Ghana and AFE, Ministry of Finance, also one close collaboration and coordination. And our yetum na ya achieve this faith we ya. Yam wasn't started there all Kosu honum. Uncle Atoya Ghana him. Majors and some president okay, he's in line now. Maybe more 10 minutes in the Mr. Uncomo.
Munya Badasi. I wonder what kind of economy a president or your careful partner choosing the ways. And clearly also the economy no beginning there or stabilize. And seeding so appreciate inflation so yeah then a rubber form. And or attributing to the finance minister and Bank of Ghana.
Yes.
Including one budget. And I was work cut down on expenditure.
Yes.
But Obano cutting up for expenditure, one should that to be specific. So no must be thank you cut down on expenditure. But quite clear, expenditure on through or your government machinery, worker or your office of the president, a one cut down on expenditure. But clearly, you can see that the city has appreciated against the dollar. You can also see the inflation time and on wabafum as a percentage as and you can also see the fuel prices also higher than abafum. And how do you attribute those things? Clearly, I'll take fuel. We are my bus city no do. Urban fuel you use to oil 3 components. No what calculate fuel because you will be offend automatic adjustment formula, which was put in place as far back as 2015. Normally, the world market price of crude oil, taxes no what no, in an exchange rate no what calculating petrol or Ghana. Lucky enough, by end of December 2024, crude oil per barrel at the international market was selling at $98 per barrel. So you have $98 per barrel. As we speak right now, on $62, $63 per barrel. Clearly, what's what to buy more than $30. And all but the international world market price now, government has no control over it.
Yes.
And the funding of the under President Kufo, Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo, crude oil price, like it's December, no 300 or bad, them 98. Always moving almost like 98, 97, 100. But this time around, we have 62, which clearly, that is why every 2 weeks when they are talking about review of oil, petroleum, and other poor prices are going a reduction because they don't know what to do. Again, actually, we can't component exchange rate. Lucky enough, from oil, they came to meet it around 12, 13 or 14, not quite about 15. And what was about from in there because around 12.34 or so. And so that's why I don't know. So when this oil in some of what's calculated oil fuel price, definitely fuel price will come down. Baby, I won't touch it. Say happy you. Baby, I won't touch it. Taxes and levies on fuels. On a banner here and there. On finance and can't. The millionaire still oil the same. And see, the President John Dramani Mahama Okadame Sabana Ozika, and I will not begrudge him because Oban a typical like the exchange rate. There are a lot of factors. And you could be that almost like 3 months, 4 months, about fresher. These things happen to you, but sometimes the volatile of the international markets, and now what we have to make sure that your fundamentals not right, the sustainability of the city are very strong, that is the face. When the city, at that time, we'll make sure they will appreciate against the dollar and another Danko Akufo-Addo, Dr. Mamundo Omia, Abakache and the what is the key number, Clearly, now you know mother there, another no knew what will happen in the future, what will have volatilities across the globe, like COVID-19 issues now, Ukraine war, or bear now for crude oil prices, or oil more than oil 100, because a year better than that time. Crude oil price was moving around like 68, 69, 70, which was okay, and when they can manage it. the most important is the men's amount of me. I don't want to talk about whether or international friend then trade war between A and A. The most important is what fundamentals needs to go on. Is it going to support this reduction and other or CD appreciating the dollar right now? Because fundamentals I can say no. Or about how many export.
Okay.
Say to myself. And some of you minimum oko abwan nezi dollars a bill. In a titru and some walk of a fee. Amano was about what $2. Say more the fee amano obano or your more. Sisi the mono oti. Bibiara and saying the mono ota clearly fundamentals no is weak. See any votability of a baby hour across the globe it will affect.
I can't tell you, sir. Merto was here. Then betum never touch the components, You feel the world market prices, and the externalities, and our customer yenya dama appreciation of currency when I was no concern. Number on your indigenous programs and other abandoned policies or Zaba. Omanyama or call ye to the Mr. President or the Bank of Ghana and the physical.
It's a Deputy Bank of Ghana and then some okay. Clearly, you call debt restructuring, especially the international ones now, or they will pay in dollars. Okay. As I say, so there is space. And normally, when you are going to pay those money now, you don't pay it in cities. You pay it what? In dollars. I'm not mentioning I'm getting wasting on your good. And no matter what we are, the person whose this is happening and I will take credit for it. But I'm saying the EBS that to the extent the Tilama Guta for work I once be. At that time no OC then the series the dollar was 10 cities. But Guta for the same plea that was by a one so price Sebekaya. Even benchmarks were reduced by 50%. Yes. Some goods and services, vehicles of import, but still, one win your profit. But all about consumers you to my benefit. But I'm saying that fundamentals now you can to make sure that yes, you must sustain the margin and the civil stabilize slowly weak.
Okay.
Because we still import tomatoes. We still import onions. We still import toothpick. We still import, say graphic, old graphic crab will still import it. Clearly, you can import the men's amana, or hard currency.
Okay.
And as import. See, when, and I'm not saying that within this 4 months, the government can turn things around. That is impossible. Or today, I hear 1D, 1F. And I'm looking at no bandana. For example, why they be you produce or you juice.
Okay.
Now on to time turning the economy around because they were exporting some and selling some. Mind you, eku juice na or a food juice other companies they are outside this country where you are import. Even crop back. Sometimes now taxes simple the ports or compete with them using because FAN interest rates at the banks. So how buy you companies in a way that must Saudi and high.
Okay.
What electricity what production or high, but as compared to countries now when you want fundamentals right now or low, be a US and other UK it's as low as something like maybe 1%. But I will connect on 30%, 35%. You cannot compete with that person. In America there, we can jubilate on BBAWC, but about the fundamentals now, or the right to sustain in the union.
Okay, to before the best, maybe it's a question way, and still on government programs, and I think one of the distinct programs that we introduced, the gold board, and within the space of 4 months, the last time was reported there, 2.7 billion. And you're raking from the good that export and in your analysis you mentioned export and import. In there suggest one export component can give us 2.7 billion and you're sure there the sustenance of your currency no able to my endama. Okay.
Just one component cannot do that. On the bonds am P is they're often selling gold to bring in forex and assuring up your reserves at with also gold as well. Say there are two distinct things in your account. And the most important thing your issue my hand power had there. Although we produce oil, but the oil that you produce say yes, my young marketing they are turning to fuel gas and all of that. So we import.
Okay.
You see, import is not about normally. It's the hard currencies in there. It's the import, which is very huge. Yeah, come on. I'm saying on your gold and I'm not saying gold now in oil good because the last time, now Obin argument said there are 2.7 billion and I want pump into the system. That is why my dollars like say when there are more goods let's say go free chaser on shadow pressure which can also bring what down. But the most important thing there, this thing, how do you sustain it? How do you maintain it?
Okay.
Clearly, you may jubilate. Say that you won't be that. Say to myself, Anyaza, you won't be that. You won't be that. So how do you sustain and bring it more down prices of goods and services? I hear can once no record there. Prices I don't know. I start to look for President John Mahama I mean, I don't know, so why check the market that? But clearly, that's in some work chain and any issue. And this excuse by traders that Yakafa Ostock, to the autonomy, and Sana, Quanma before to them a good warm hand there, Yamona 60 days or so.
Yes. And
Sana clearly, it doesn't help others.
All right, I'm glad.
As now they are raking in the profit. So compare there. The more volatile situations now about the international markets, will not hit us. Say be overdone because they be able to help all of us.
Okay. Mada say Uncle Atuna Yate, Nekano, Meko or ye Commander Nichana, no so Yashe. Mozebaka on this particular issue. Commander.
Yeah.
But this is all your good news.
Ghana be out to a baby and imagine.
Now question be saying how do we sustain yen gains this year?
Music can mention Uncle Cra.
Okay.
What's your program? Mama will be a Adjunaza Foundation was one Jimayado. Menchia one Casasona or production team. Obi out to a baby Dam Busuman and Nomi. We won't say Sambi. Be brimpo Kade, Obakadana, or Managana, yes, son. As if you are all being no cream. I am in out wide and wild share him. Osman, say if the strength of your economy are determined by volatilities in other country, then or that time woman as a come at the country in my wash at the mouth. Today, yet I guess say okaban the changes be ba in terms of yane economic indicators obo hen me yehu da ye kohanyim another year beheche. I shouldn't come and sit here and tell Ghanaians that because ye important them maybe fi baby to the man nzamana ye import fee e hono work ho Zaman the buyers and another year being talk. You know, the economy is mainly about demand and supply. And as any being you are, or no one quatry, no quatry, Obama, no bonai than a coso. I don't envisage the other matina had a macadamas and a chagana for. I've been out to an album for so we voted for a purpose. And purpose in there. You're not to be a woman. If you the kana na mama mistia no mama mistia non. Ebia na on fa him kwaye. Nti sa awona nkesa na driver per what experience nti ibutuma ye man sesa bi aba. Nti This will be our Ghana have been the song with the Mansasana. External volatilities has nothing to do with what is going on. S&P for one ratings.
Yes.
Say, with the giant at what they call a select default. Now, with a little that team now man led by what's this here 10 beer bagana was of an autonomy society.
What's the autonomics?
Autonomics.
It's autonomics now. This is our work on social media.
Autonomics. The team led by autonomics, it changed the dynamics. Abiana Moshe social media bina you go to freebie I feel man don't know sorry if so no say news so sabazo no all your announcement from one table to another the dollar need to 12 cedis just that because them besiana no alkasan oti eda Kennedy a compare kwa Japan or your now analysis of Nitsika or Lucy in terms of the exchange rate. Inti I Mazam Kasa.
Okay.
That I don't want a situation I'm about to Nabakache Ghana for the external forces to be affected. It means that we did not plan. That is why every country in the budget or your projections. In your projections, you factor a positive and negative. So if you are projecting on a positive trend, no planner will project on positive and forget about the negatives. Obi obey the man no ebi abakuro problem. That is why even in our budget cycle, you are media budget review. What it does is that the more projection there for the year, what within that 6 months come back next there will be a record thoughts and I hope I then waba. How will need the negatives in? But I was reading something. Oh yeah, interesting. Say in the Bank of Ghana, only the team that is working on these things.
Yeah.
We pump over 490 million into the system to achieve what we are getting. But the narrative of there's a trade war. Now, Nkofuna what in a Gwandu na way man, wabaka trade war na affect ona. If they are not saying it today, why must you input it in your conversation? But man can as a S&P. One story on so far my Benny Waye. Also, and I read, according to S&P's latest report, Ghana's negotiation with its remaining commercial creditors are nearing completion. A key milestone that has restored the credibility and eased physical pressure.
Okay.
Onya zibia sebe obi don wa boni tim no or kan bibia no o hye bi no o twen there country bi wo bokwa na sidi no ho nkyere na yemaka nche Ghana for there or country na woko abadwai the war in Crimea.
Yes.
Why enda
Ogudo record.
So why there sika no nsa no nkwaso
Entina America say return na matase with metefo a na o kire oye aban ne mbozimbo ni programs ni policies ne hyehyaya wa oza to fom no na ya start the yenya no homfoso
because you see tama ya kasafa there obi ka say you can be reducing the my better to your research now 1,000 and 1 one of the things I can do oil the cheapest only there when you cut down the expenditure of government. I'm surprised that we are cutting down of expenditure of government to govern machinery. That is not how you do it. If you say that a cut down the expenditure of government, it is not only about government machinery. It is the totality of the sectors, the agencies, the institutions that makes up the government. So for people to single out there, in fact, today as we speak, and Obia will follow the trend in Ghana. If you want to assess the full cost of how much government or send what we call the government machinery, it's a request, a constitutional requirement, abandon the book of parliament. Anytime we had that was there, the budget of government machinery acquisition, or based on the submission of the list of presidential staffers and non to parliament on the in the year says we don't have it. Martin Kofu making reference to budget and the appendices in the budget that suggests Sika will try to govern machinery. The details, also the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating.
Can I find
pudding on pudding I had it be a in the patcha. Okay. But I'm with his own fancher. Do one pet. Okay. Who I there sabi oil uncle. Intina wouldn't be there. The mu pudding in say a pudding who do oil that watch it is the Biana. The Kawana and into man for whom the Kakanen Kade. Because Moon I did oil down another on your down. I tell Oba how much government is spending. So Oba government machinery or the more report now was about called parliament. We are yet to see that. Okay. Whatever budget projections are wired, but if you have a budget projection of, let's say, we are doing something projection according to S&P, the GDP projections that we are doing is something in the region of 4.2. So about there, we're there. So there are projections. It doesn't mean that that is what we are going to achieve. It is assessed at the end of the budget cycle or the budget year. Okay. And there, you were there. Me wonder be me you when you coffee visa go there. Other way impeach a president. Now, since I in there, president or promise there. Or the system ministers not about 56. On for the cow. And I told Shabo, I shall be able to 60. I know one man deficit of 4. It's a question so why you better. And we had a bit of Ghana. Ghana is interesting. We was a minority leader. No, what an Asha so. That or no, on starting the process of impeachment. The gospel truth is that he's still running a government, but 16 pocket obey the appointed only. Okay. Are you saying that minister one appointed him? Ujenekawa. Is it not again? Okay. Nti in the Obama yenya these gains, things that will give confidence to the investors. And investors will not trust in your economy. So if they don't have that trust, they be able to watch one what's and when it. But the gospel truth is that so yeah, Russia, Ukraine, away there, so yeah, there was another one. Okay, COVID.
Yes, we had COVID and then Russia, Ukraine. Yeah.
Say COVID ko. Nebia Russia, Ukraine so way there. It's because of that then zamana or do but wa aba. Nti changes higher than aba. inflation or no kwade or drop. Even though the rate was dropping, a lot of Ghanaians were like worship. But the signs, the little gains, little drops of water. Obia was it? Onhu kakra ba eza man na bo osman wo man kase.
Command first mom.
But this say in here 15 cedis and sending you $1. Yan can 170 and I was here quiet. In here 15 cedis and sending you $1. Send the one drop to 12. I don't think there is something that you should be worried about. Jeans the gun and you be interested there. Now as in a way now. But it's I don't know the indicators, how to measure it. Alaji Baumia can't change the dado. Check we in free.
Yes.
When the fundamentals are weak,
the exchange rate would expose you.
So if the exchange rate is saying there, another exchange rate in your good, Osman, do I have to ask somebody there fundamentals or a week and not that? Because principle Alaji Baumia Zama Ghana fa will be ordered to me in there. When the fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. So when the exchange rate is good, do I need a soothsayer? No, on can't tell me there. Fundamentals in a solid.
Commander Madasi. Where is the Kenya Yata say? I hire Kastle 90.3 FM. Remember how the 5 days edition and I was so good at every day. No, there is some comment about the economy. In some of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Waka Yati Obiani initial comment. You better about 3 minutes answer na. Ya shouldn't have my claim messages no. I got to more 3 minutes say. Then you're about to ask kakra.
Sir, obi culture de external forces and external shocks. Signal does not affect economies around the world, then we have no problem. And you see, make us say, me pay messy because actually factors are at that time. Yenya inflation or cost, yenya or your CD depreciation, no, the same as today.
Okay.
So be catch them. The COVID-19 did not affect the world economy and you no problem. Because he said you want to about Benjamin. Mutala Mohammed has also told us that was part of it or affecting Ghana economy. President John Mahama has told that it's our Tinahana catch them there. The situation or the nya ASU say there COVID beba into ABC there. Say your obey no so definitely you have to go to Parliament. You put measures to sustain it. But that's not the catch them there. That be the man zamano. No, on the maintain or affect here now. Clearly you have a problem. But you see, America said and I will never sit here. Minka there as a wide or a bodam for market. As I make in there, Emma. Yanen Zama save you, Emma. Especially to make sure the city not drop more, no yasma sustaining. Massa yen or as I'm making. Because is it true that we import more than we export? On your factor.
Factor.
On your fact.
I know quite.
I know quite. Now you're demona, or the rather 10 and around that you export more, you import less. Yen. In America, the more bomb pay you. There, them shocks in the yen, mamma being yet on 3 hands so that we go on that tangent. Sitting about my I drop more. But you see, what's the budget, your projections? I shared 2025 budget here. Or revenue we expect from the oil field. And so project or a barrel of crude oil benchmark at $74 in the budget. Yes. In that manner, say, Miss one and 63, 62. There's a shortfall of revenue. Say it.
Yes.
Now a ban. Or your projection. And so now ban will be so. Then call Obunya there them opera okay them nzama nko do no you do project them 75 but ko do 265 expert man can answer clearly na me say that things change
and the shortfalls no and all the problems was be ba
in America there how because you need revenue to run say about energy sector
yes
what on the bone no ni na is kasem
okay
in America there my way see my water ye in there export better than it obey more so that we reckon more what
revenues receipts
no exporting foreign exchange there hard currency to the dollars no and really more when yenya ni pia not demands no here there on coso because by 2026 whereby you ever start you pay an external debt no you need the dollars to go and pay set mercy
yes
nti dimension shey no order yakoda ye de ne order ye de ye hwe na ye de ye di ye
but
you cannot tell me that when you have all your external shocks and other volatility something like COVID did not affect the world economy so you not be how that will be how other you are intentionally denying it or peddling there I why did there and pedal accept. But no sensible person can tell me that them situation, what affect you realize the economy. How come their borders are closed? Say to us, you are asked to stay at home. That means that will not affect your economy. This time one you move really.
I got to
the same situation that you won't this time. Say to us, I mean, say. Or MPP, any some make accept there. When even under another danko akufado, Sidno, or make sure that again against the dollar, not Dr. America the master. Intermarry repeat there. At that time, no name there some volatility there, COVID, the man's money there. Or beba. So if NDC says you say, no hunzama about the near future, because Jamin on him. Murphy my son Malcolm Mubisi. Okay. But what patch when you mobisa, thank God won't call no end.
But I say, my son, so my baby, Sanudin. Well, my 4 minutes.
May I show that 2024 Ghana will be a candidate because of COVID? Is it true?
So, okay, opposition crack. And no, the then government,
they stayed at home because of COVID in 2024. Is that what you're saying?
No.
In 2022, Ghana will be them because of COVID. Is it true?
So when you lockdown
in 2022,
I think time of COVID no.
You're talking of 2020.
Okay.
We are in 2025. Osman, I'm saying there. And that okay, Mama can for because maybe I use Crimea war and Tibia and Sasa and Yejuma. What I mean is that Russia, Ukraine, I can wager. Wager.
I will go.
When they were telling us there, or your COVID, no, Russia, Ukraine, one man here watching him. On no man, you see, didn't here 17 and saying then you $1. And the war is still ongoing. Mm-hmm. This is logic. The war is still ongoing. And we are trading it around 12.35 or 12.38. Mm-hmm. Makabana. On
the right track.
Does it make me senseless? Omia, he re-echoed. Omia, he re-echoed and echoed and echoed several times there. When the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. I mean, American. So if the exchange rate is doing better, what does it mean?
The fundamentals are good.
What is my crime? What makes me senseless? So I'm saying that Manangisa catcher henan. Yanko Panadum Ghana Yibiara Otto Abanama NDC John Dramani Mahama. My young at the margin of 1.7 million and Pakuno Ayana Dow. O Sunday the fundamentals are solid, and in view of that, exchange rating, Sidino, now more than I than was, sir. What is our crime? I was Ghana within 4 months, 5 months. Now SMP. What's there? Kakaya yebeye yampo. Wama. Investors are again confidence in the economy. As a result, yene rating na yada in the region of select default. Nje esuman wafan na Osman say we can default jet as it.
Yes.
We move here fioma yewo CCC plus. Na say Russia and Ukraine what the one work kwa. Na me say there say me NDC ni. Na ma bani ogba agbar. Na ma matin ha na manka there. Cause mo kaya for work ko. Into affect Ghana. I will not come and say it.
Okay.
Because look, we are not even doing the trade issues, export and import or something like that. The fundamental things are per the theories of Baumia, although OC, in order for the city to gain the strength. And now, as an answer of fund, autonomous. And I hear them again.
So one work can was him.
And Ghana for was say because what they have seen. Number say dinner was a condemn of course autonomics.
Autonomics.
And so within this period, and not to why another. This is how to no fundamentals now stronger. What do make somebody senseless?
So remember that say.
So the most important thing is that Mr. Ajiman Kese, maybe will be a major when you be. Also, no one who knows who that say, Anna.
Yes.
No way you there fundamentals are strong that by force or although you're weaker. I mean, I'm of a moon. Solid economic indicators.
All right.
All the indicators and Ewa. Oh, sure, Ghanaians there. What banana what way in Fasabam?
Okay.
Empire year buying there. Other things that are yet to come. Obaba. Neti in your solid grounds. Until your president in the statement now. I said there, by the time maybe in August, maybe I will call for the media budget review. And Kimpan the more gains. Osman.
Yes, sir.
Check modern Ghana. There's a story be on prices of commodities. Modern Ghana picked about 2 commodities. Offer oil, cooking oil. No offer sugar. I think rice also or the count. 3 items no offer. No, about the price at the time. The more autonomy see or ba. And the city also more wire than we do. Say on your cassette reduction in yet drastic. Whatever reduction. There was one of them also not what on 850. We do 700. I don't know whether the rice or the sugar. There's another one that was something in the region of 950 or 900, which is around 700. There has been some reduction.
I was saying, but I say,
you fight there. All
right. But I say, I was also, yeah, baby.
Now, for what to about one account one to about one.
But I say, Commander, Yatsene can hire Kastle 90.3 FM. Mema hodo and a 5 days edition. Every day, no. Mama can message kakra and sani ababa for your last topic no. Na yezi hu komo kakra. When say success is a vehicle which move on the wheels of hard work, but the journey is impossible without the fuel of self-confidence. Francis Yatel from Amwanda KE and a Ozzy Bay. Ma main can way so. When so say good afternoon, Mr. Host. The depreciation of the city is not reflecting in the market, but rather increasing the market economy. But cement, which was 95 Ghana cedis, is now 105, and slate, which was 130 Ghana cedis, now 140 Ghana cedis. Jonathan Otua Tabazi and also Ozzy Bay. Maminko Benyim Kakra. We say I think Atosam should listen to Mr. Nuruddin very well. He is speaking sense and he should stop insulting the intellectual man in the studio. Asha Khalifa, the taxi driver, and also Oziwei, Ozibay, Mamenfa, Eyisuwahade. Good evening, Mr. Host. If Atosam does not agree with President Mahama, it is normal because he is in opposition. Uncle Same in Thranua, and also Ozibay, Mamenfena, Menkan, Eyisuwahade. We say, I'm just flabbergasted that an NPP communicator can come on air to campaign for the failed NPP government. They should stop coming on air with their useless debates, but rather do an introspection on their heavy defeat rather than coming on air to infuriate us. Uncle Paul Bakano and also Ozebe. My man can't wait so ha. Where's the place? Good evening, sir. We in Ghana and Ibrahim Mahama went to a meeting and he told the world that COVID and Russia-Ukraine war affected Ghana's economy. So it's the message in I throw ya one can say about 10 can answer asa number say on says it's a new damena editing million pa or isn't. It's KKB, Amanfo. Yes, we message Masaka, but conclusion no. Meshada mentasi into Bombozen Nasansu, Brabio Momna, Mekana Mazamo. We say, hi boss. It seems now we have to know the difference between these two parties. Earlier the better. NDC go higher. Greetings to my boss Nuruddin Kobina Isa from Eko Asian Samuel and also Oziwei Ozibay. And I'm a good American say message in a true year. I was the man people on there by sending us because I did by Makana Mazamo. Nyaboter na ye proofreading. Na afe etum na ezaba ezaba makan na Mazamo na bipia was when you are not Osamayan. Yaboko in a yim kakra, but before then, no, my main tremmy home black a crabby na afe yabacheramo. If I never go, Mama Sanso Memo Akabe Kastle 90.3 FM. Mema Hodo and then Yumbriwe was so good at 18 no. No more before I about tell you next issue no. My Yensin Komo Kakra about all your loanat, may come for loanat not Mezamo. Malaria yerba nyaze papa. But say any beer or ye drew crope and I'm a count for Mezamo or ye loanat. The Medru Way Food and Drugs Authority in the what try was answer what test and I was once I chassis there. And my friend when I'm paying for you now no be able to na we used to be. In the lonat edri okum malaria. Parasite no cause or malaria na kasempono. And they are prevent today, Sabi wo mumpa. All men sa swing infection bio. Into them account for lonat and a miserable. Now I'm shannon so that before one fan lonat edri be. Make sure that I test for year malaria and sana num lonat no. And I after before one medruno. The DA. I had the DA and sana to my num na obody no so. Wa absorb bedruning ya maybe our concana or zamo. Any pharmaceutical shop or ben will be an ecohonoma. A drew crope as a pelonat, if you are honor, a when been at all. Lonat or say scatter malaria. Now, Mr. Asome come for ye game park cool chop and I'm from more. And you bring away, we have book a weekend on your pescal game kotokum. In fact, in the guafida, one saying so. A bopone a kakajin and you have when you are casem. And the game parks, I'm can't charge then you bring exercise with our phone. Not dial star 946 hash. A daily we are follow the prompt to pick one. A pick one we are. You have more numbers from 1 to 36. Select no more. Now a few schedule to be ano. In yama wire draw no. Nasa wabo number ne peno. Which can work 1 month home 30 times. And pay when I pay banazi. A register so watch of 2 cities free. Now we soon put a tune at the Magri a tune na ACB. It's from Wusheme na yen na yen tum na yen pesi kanibi yen fongu yen kotokum. I say. One number to pick, no stress, no long calculation, or a game pack and American for Muslim or in your brewery. Now, my Mr. Asuma, I'll cover beyond Kastle 90.3 FM, my hood and then your brewery was so good at 18. No, my young and then you may step further, not afraid Minister Kaina Waka, and me promise that Mama Baduntem. But because of time, it's no, we would have to exhaust our last issue. No, na affair, sans you to me as uncomoye. And that, Anna, Minister of Energy and Green Transitions, John Jinapo, organizing interview. My information be there. In the work in 2.6 days worth of fuel for young plant no. Afraid of Chempoka there. Yes, a 1.1 billion now. Actually, to me, a chairs my IPPs no. Now, Kappa on post to actual tabran a day. $400 million a kawa as a nation or money as the one to see in Cheskana, they will shut down. It's a more pressure by Kakra. In the Yenya good news that 450,000 barrels worth of fuel. And a way to na wazire baba bwana nkania no wetum na wejina do na here is na information about there in all the government agencies MMDAs and afei wana work ka hu bi won nyina no bia ngba no ho bozen there awa eze abanakaw in terms of energy. Another be a prepared discourse a light is kabia no say entua in the oba disconnect. Number what the priorities in Bama or your critical agencies no. It be to the health facilities, it be to the energy and other education facilities na no. Oba share now one is with one more special treatment no. He even went a step further to cite Oya Ghana Water Company Limited there. The mon coffee one was the light now what the pumping so is water. What on the saying is a car, even as in Tina and Tumuna entria Wiskano. In all the government agencies in Nubia, and there was light was here, Jumano. I was a concern, I'm sure saying Tia over cattle off for Honum. And this is the issue, the last segment to your busy won't come more. Mako Oya Commander Nathan said Nuruddin, na Afe was start to her day because of time into the alcohol just once, yes, and so, yen your time and baby to know. My 10 minutes now for your tomb, not his own come. So Nuruddin FNF 27 per time into 37 at least maximum 38 now is this our meeting no able to know queen.
It's rather unfortunate the energy issue na 10 minutes here but ever try na ya have pharmacy the matter me to
Electricity Company of Ghana internal communication on compact 2 and the PSP transactions.
Okay, so our private sector participation transaction.
Okay.
The document ECG for Wayang somewhere 2014, 2015. Na President Kufo or compact 1. Okay, this is KBF America ho. Njeke. Nti NDC ba Benjamin. And America for said that you were another assets of the Mexican, which is almost $500 million. Nti ebotum you use the Mexican. Now, the issues in the energy sector are an established fact. Obianyim. Nti nanche you use the Mexican that share in energy sector. See now over the period, then successive government enter in the energy sector. But the last 8 years in a Hobiaba, the Mahona Waban, on no message in that documentation, all Bob Wama ya solve energy issues in. Now you were a total of 5 key areas. Into a high demand for growth for electricity in Ghana. Acquire insufficient power generation to meet growing demand. Third one, a constrained transmission capacity. Fourth one, inadequate investment in distribution network. Fifth one, a governance regulatory framework does not meet needs of the stakeholders. Stakeholders are also consumers. But if you pick that issue, this document was produced somewhere 2014, 2015.
Okay.
As a system losses, major challenges facing ECG, revenue collection, debt stock, high frequency and duration of power outages, weak ICT backbone infrastructure, lack of smart operational system tools. If you check the ECG system, some of them, compact 2, urban will be if you. If you get into the document detail, or your NETCO and ECG, in the NETCO and the ECG, there's one key issue: financial operationalization turnaround or turnout. Sika waji in the Sika was a call. ECG buy power and sell to us.
Yes.
What we are, and I hear Chema or that would could you want to come. So, my getting who sees here, no solution. One of them, I am a friend, legacy debt.
Okay.
Onona John Dramani Mahama. Other for Truby Bobaza, what an energy sector levy. But okay.
Esla.
As all Baba in there. The Macau owned the electricity company of Ghana. And for that matter, the energy sector. You use the miscan and find them. You finish here. It is a year, 1 year crown on say, Iguru Tian, on yet to the mean GB.
No battle.
No, Haro. More today being. Only the Mexicana America for what's a brand now. As all Baba there is to look at private sector participation in the energy sector. Ninia or now what's about we in on often PDS second one. Okay, see then.
Let what's our scam in your man koi in Shananqui.
I want to wear my scam and a bayin, or the way I want that.
Or chamber and brand new one is he.
Yatinama Abansa Saba. Ghana for so work Abani more by Osman, in this situation, say America for when this can answer Kenya. Do you think there with that private sector participation still or the young Adam how you
You should have improved.
But the negligence of the government of the day almost cannot buy him. I am putting this basically a what bad system no moon. No repayment or yes, PDS phone was a call. Today, you were how and then let me say one of these energy experts. Or can't send be now I come to Kakra. She said, why there? Or picture there, minister no on pedo kasa na dabazi. Now something there. Or that minister no, or you bold. Now, okay, as someone as it is.
Now we see this.
Very good.
Yes. The executive director for your Institute of Energy Security.
Yes. And the mukoti I am a daupa into my PK. And I read. We should have enough money to pay fuel supplier, the power generator, and the transmitter of the power. So, the IPPs, maybe a to him fuel. The transmitter that is Gridco. And a hoy. Mati so there, ibidum so wakade MDAs. I been more when there were candidate assemblies.
Okay.
So that is ministries. The department and agencies. Then the minister is saying there, cabinet hasn't take another decision. And the decision is that certain critical institutions other women who want to chair because the biggest problem of electricity company of Ghana today Oye ija waton no wanya ija no hu sikan. Azena wakwa akotonen. Yisi je foto no wi a wabakaw. Nta abakwa na ye ba fada. Da me ekaw na woban. Bebre sika na ekizi individuals and institutions are ya banaza. One more example. What's a Ghana Water Company? I want 7 months. Won't you pass on for my electricity company of Ghana? Maybe I don't want to know what kind of face. Maybe there are others. But listening to the minister on a parliamentary select committee on mines and energy, if you read the story, I say, Mr. Chairman, most of the things will be laid before you very soon. Osman.
Yes, sir.
As I'm there, Nana Mo is in a neat team. I'm the Opedel minister no catch a Ghana for here there. There's crisis. And the more crisis and on my mom from when he didn't general. Tell them. Because I'm paying for what's a son. Name to me now wasn't one why edgy. There are certain things you have inherited. And to baby, I'm a far. Some is the fee. I tell that as if you want to try to get the way into me, young.
But Sanudin, obviously, will be some questions today. Yeah, this same problems here, it's abounded in the past. But vast majority of the period, none can you know, Jinado. The same problems here, it was in the past. But how is it that all of a sudden, what be evident today, I find a year those problems,
Around the business of that.
Yes.
Say, if you, na se de bi fira na mpako na ozema wa odu time bia on fira obi o but na ezema ka
I know kwere
one na okade dam 1.1 billion na wakani ya oya 4 months ka wa one okay ete do bi kada ba se me odi bi se ne because that is absolutely impossible. It is heavy at that time and knows to do because we keep giving assurance. Okay, what kofu one issue now?
Yes. That shut it down
in 2024. But because we're getting into elections, we're catching on there. We're shutting it down because we're shutting down. We'll lose elections. But yeah, but for man, you can't send me that was there. Abu Fabo yara obo no found or pope na muta and I answer the but whatever happens losing a bay. Look at what would have happened. Say NDC you wanna kind now so when insisted there be a one for 3 months being count. Now system no explode here. The effect then.
All right, so no deal.
But they say we there because at that time I was just accumulating debt. My first nice way of telling them though, Charlie, keep on, we'll do it. Car power, what's that? It's about 480 or so, 400 something.
Yes.
And they threatened to shut the machine. At the select committee, the Minister of Energy, Finance, met them. You have negotiated.
Sir, first of all,
the negotiation I can't anyone. Senche, this is election year. Na eke dem negotiation because we election year ninti. Mpocho mo numen. Ne mo won twa makaka na woto aba na mu lose a. Mpa baba ba na mun da me ko no ba yen.
Aba ba fatu ha. Sir, me da say, akla to ma yenye ma memo 12 minutes. My man 10 minutes but why stand out 12 minutes. It's more 12 minutes. It's exactly 52. May you wait 15 years in common.
Yeah, it's a kusama. Or there should be some for so needs so that you can sustain your continuous lives. Munia Asama John Jinapo. CCR no war position. Necessary energy minister CC Adama more can opposition on. Is that what he's doing right now?
Maybe now he's confronted with the realities of the situation.
It's Sebu I'm not sure what the bubble the same man the reality has catch up with him. And I don't pity him at all. Oh, as someone can about it, it's more than what? Sika and Mboa. As someone oh you did dog can win now, it's boiled down of what? Money, whatever you want to do, or iska. Nebekaya, your position no. And our position in your power no. More catch in there. Casa non doso. We should find solutions and money to fix the problems. And I'm not catching that. Why is he making excuses and talking to us like that? Yeah, but the video we are saying no. Now I'm the boss system losses. John Jinapo catching him paying there. He's not part of government, although in opposition.
Yes.
Not a committee for what? Energy. He's not part of government. And Maurice was ECG on fan he doesn't take decisions. But what about power? Within 90 days, what about system losses at ECG? They will fix it and reduce it. What about now system losses on 23%, in on 40? Munia, you see, WAPCO or your maintenance now 1 year.
Wait.
Say it's not how we do like around. Munia, share. John Jinapo catch him pain. Then another Danko Akufo at that time, and let me put it on record.
Yes.
The 8 years of Nana Danko Akufo's reign. We had only 8 weeks of doom so. Out of the 8 years, 8 weeks. But in there, at the Hana, or be saying there, or the finance minister home bar, or a caprica, oh yes, because finance minister that catch any there, say, oh man, the Mr. Canan got in us or the call, or what of fang go not about power energy plant now, and our generation plant now, it will affect the budget. I know, course. But relative, I catch up with them. What's now I catch up the PDS after ECG for Oscar. You see, they are still in government and peddling falsehood. They should tell us, PDS, ECG, Oscar, and a waffle. Messy, there's nothing like that. But what was that with them? Munia here. Plants are your Ghana or hydro, thermal, and a solar, nuclear, yes. Urban hydro and so near the power. Urban thermal, you hear light fuel, and our offended gas and that power, young plants. And so I make one some young or they discard in there. On that ECG, no way, then you see why distribution on. But how to generate another, make sure that them is jump from another electricity now, bano, or they are ban. Water, or your crude, and I like crude to power this plant.
But Uncle to many sure so there. Anytime you burn near farm Gubiano, another be able to produce energy piano, about no is cut direct the engine cut.
That is the contract I was signed with the IPPs. Or you ban it's I don't sometimes there. Our independent power producer. Or you're the ban no do pesca, no the top. Crude no more. Another gas no more, another power. You realize I said to you.
Now ECGs can offer him.
Remember?
Okay.
When I look at that, there are losses, yet I see. But you told Ghanaians that you have the solution within 90 days to fix it. Again, I'm with that ECG once can I come some note. They even told Ghanaians that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia recruited Abel Haptel. Or do you electricity for Oscar? Last time we could, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Reality now, watch one. Baby, start question be there. Them situations and problems are no. But another don't go for now ban. Or to make sure that still electricity no in there. Ojinado. You see, Sabio and this wolf power no now eko ECG another any sector now. Not debt no on your zero. We were still owing. Actually, from the year 2027 to 2024, a kawa years in now.
Bacha Brabio 2017. Okay.
To 2024, a kawa na energy sector that was about 2.5 billion. It's almost like that if you abandon. So it's massive. So you ask yourself, how did they manage it?
So also I can jail Esla.
Medasi. Say they are here to crude. And I'm what?
Yes.
Near to offend gas. Even at a higher cost than right now, more complaining this year. But you see, there's something happening. Orca there. On Saturday, Ghana water, ever. For almost like months.
7 months.
7 months, 1 year. Let's see for one Ghana city. But the months a government institution. Ghana water is there. ECG once was 1 cow. One once 1 year cow. And now we know all day Ghana water would year ECG for cow. Once ECG other way than it. Would year 1 cow. These are all state institutions. To the extent for there, work or cabinet we decided there. Or yeah, MMDCs, or yeah, Ministry of departments and agencies. So yeah, some of and some urban education sector now, they will make sure that echo baby today infant payment. So yeah, some of the only place are abandoned as of here, lecture halls, dormitories in Kanhu, echo pantries na the now on Kanhu or lecture halls. But this time around, not I abandoned it, offer them a cow. So right now, parents are going to do what? Pay. Because urban them now, them dormitories now because the first place they are almost like 8 dormitories or now you should prepare though. And if government stop paying now, they have to pass on to the consumer. After MMDC, the answer near account, or in the quarter of the wood, because the men some what can I check. But young fan there, assemblies now, they pay it by themselves. My son of message be I want. Many former MC in the chatty. Yes. And he's talking about almost like 9K to 10K for the assembly a month. Say etimasi. But I'm saying that them institution or hodado them department some pay it by themselves, some do not also pay. But say bekaya them former friend ECG boss
the big Mahama.
Okay, I am back on the same move and institutions are what's one called Ochis one or Jisikaba. Say bekay. Okay, the Cape Coast Stadium come over there. It's nothing new. It's all about what? Money. But the question is now, or your government institutions, they get their finances from what? The same government. Certainly, unless they be other institutions will use IGF. And right now, I them some part there. You need to cover horses here. So use your IGF what? To pay for electricity bills na ye kan wasa no echo secondary schools are minjiz ran fans from generate idea for ana what e bi o
say e bi a kire your romance na ye hu
wonye that is why government pay
for them
for the electricity bills na sisia e ka de e ye fi ho a parents will start to pay.
Uncle Ato mama your time can be a question way so me tell come anya yezi wa had na I think we are all on the same page. The elephants in the room no ya wanna ye distribute light as one because ECG ya man la kwana kwaton na nya sika na from the same government and so yiska oze nua energy no na obanda yes ye benya problem technical losses baba but ECG on tum na onji jini sika na ye from bo ye ho bra na mo da bia ye consumers no na wo put a code ya wo de hye ye nkwa
John Jina pona aka chere even if ECG you see there was a problem with how I was signing a contract because of IPP offending. IPP is independent power producers.
Yes.
Clearly, one must begin one year Nyamkaniano. And the contract was already abandoned full of one. It doesn't make sense. Said to myself, that is why all struggles is here no. That is why all struggles is here no. Or catch in there, or that banner you don't know. Or she sika. No cut of them found one. But you sign, especially new IPPC award, you sign those contracts. President John Mahama signed those contracts.
I signed it. So also sign it.
Yeah.
Anna.
And I bet in hours there. Say yo. Sebekaya. We were even negotiating. Sometimes they won't take or pay no.
Yes.
So that you bear or they you use answer you use one the them arrangements on that because say a contract them contract now about end of to judgment date say it was it's you were negotiating it become so I them and I'm saying you told me going to the election there there was solution now about that to top up that I'm going to scandal I'm a cabano mama used to answer the statement macabano me a minister
I got to face him
and I'm a board member. He should find money. He should find money and pay it. But Marabano, all students, including university students, clearly first and not ban home would tell this time around they'll pay.
Okay. I got to mother say mama collection no sombro na yenzu komo kakra and because of time it's about just
PDS afa you see the full Oscar. Me pedam sika na hin because the man watch catch ro.
I got to mother. You must see a kakra ha 0244 408046 0244 408046 and also the 0244 408354 0244 408354 about 40 seconds ekawasem we are na yekoi nanyim. Good evening. Good evening.
Venga.
Me pacha wuzi na be kase free.
Koje son me kase free yamoa.
Koje son yankwa nanyim.
Yo, Osman, ya da masu bebre. E wo de wiase ya yetie o. No kwale nyi ho. Hwe yete o man mu nka school football school pa hwe ke bebe ye fu e kwa sensan. I mean, a taxi driver could be my fool of Quackwas and sign. No, my book. Nina, after all, nice sign or levy. A sign or betting tax. Yes, I can betting a can. Not them your maina, or course, you know. But them your maina, if you are full sub from Kakanka, at least Governor Iron or the Yamabia to Quim loss in Yamana Iron, or 1 hour to 2 hours, and I wanted to Yammer and Kakanka Iron. Yamambro for more mine. Them your maina, VC leader, Mahama Rio. But
Madasa Bishop Brevi. Good evening.
Hi, Papa.
Me pacha wuzi me kase free. Samson call 40 seconds.
Papa, oyi betting taxes one. So they will you see the you should know. Into to shine, on your memo. You were here, Nabashaha, by a trick, a memo, Mamma. So this woman doing you betting tax. Not much we light on you what I do. And more for 1 9 memo, for 1 9 memo, Mamma. But I say,
Samson was some Madasa. Good evening.
Good evening, Osman.
Me pacha wuzi me be kase free. Yanko 40 seconds.
Is it Dawood Mukase Fiabra?
Dawood yanko what time will take yanko?
Madam Pocho, MPP Abanewa, we be Ghana Boro Papa, name of Ghana for you one. Share any Nancy, Mr. Excellency John Draman Mama Bay. Share Ghana most Mawasa son, Mawati to Yamado, Uncle Sisi Chikutuku, Mabredo, Nanobu, Sisi, what to do more than 70 Ghana, Aban Papa. Sisi Alonia Menepia. Enwe many enwa obi ala otu aba mama man onche bia obinya mfasupa forever MPP dey Ghana for ya to pa hwe o onya da Ghana for your boy hwe mo etu kono bi o
na would madase bi so mbra. Good evening. Me pacha wuzi me be kase free yanko. Well, I know when you're clear. Sounds super. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Me pacha wo se me be kase free yanko 40 seconds.
Mr. Speaker, abominim.
Mr. Speaker yanko, what time it take?
Yo, Mincha Chef and Mincha as your form of your Facebook. Namincha, Sister Rita, or Aquarium, or your team, we boom quiet. About way on your gun of thinking. Do, true, and then I'm what's so busy. But ye reflection, I will fall. And yet to care about way are successful. Over 5 months. Yes, it be a 1 year and 2 years novity. And Sunday to me last session. The she shall I didn't to her. But she in power there. Ma Dinapolacano, or Yanoko. Go what was your present in or card there? Even what was your in pool, or a light of. Yes, and that dinner on now by the present. What catch and them. Only a mere.
Mr. Speaker, may I say, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Osman.
My pacha was never be kase free yanko.
Chairman, me chairman boss, Professor Commander Nudin.
Chairman pacha yanko enyim.
Yes, what? Importo. Sabi one I no right sense pa bakade. Idi aroko no kodu. Na dem ko federal work no kuku won na bi to bomb one say bi ni fuel station na no kaka na azen. Ni wona bi no woro kon. E na etiri e bebi. E kun ado ho hyensen. O affect hyensen ni je won ko mu sabi wa one na je no pa bakade ma asebe. Aya sometimes say o better radio do bi nya akwanya bi ni nya akwanya. I saw was kasa na onye. We use words to be the baby and name. Kasa do on one so you know catch one yanko. I'm the
Maso, Madase, good evening.
Good evening, ladies.
Boss, wasn't a baby kasa free.
What the question is, boy?
Question yanko in your 40 seconds. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I may be free. What about the white chan? Because them new boss new deal canon. You can election to quay. What the one will come back to dollar no. Only before you could go further. Better. First, in the car on the Mossadari, no, the papa, we give the son of the Oak feed them. Hey, but Papa was boarding your milk while Quim. Mother, and they said that before the first when you and the motor 2024, them not that the Yella. I would not look at more than who can because of fuel. Nature, who got $4 $1 over to do over your money. The dollar no loyal for a 4 citizen will be a dinner. 1 to 1 to know about to the 16. No, that's $2 to 12 cities. I'm better. Don't go, Mamma, or check them. Or your picture president over to our
what I say, Bissum Brabby, good evening.
Good evening.
My pacha was a baby kasa free.
But the Jonathan to Mukasi Frata Bade.
Jonathan, I'm calling you 40 seconds.
Your best friend is if you want to was in Casama and I. Namana, why shall see a 4 months to 5 months into your best friend? Want to soon Casama?
But I say, Jonathan, Mammy Sumbra, good evening.
Good evening, Asman.
I'm only a 40 seconds.
I'm going to make you mention me to an above first scratch.
What time will you go?
Asma, the can't make a diner for that. Obey me, your mamma, also, he will tell you about catching the only medicine on Canada be a mistake. No, Asma, in my work, if you see the cover. But I manage Marcus as now, won't you? No, madam, I'm not banner who feel quiet. Okay, so about you want a gun, and they call the moon. And see, only from 5 1 or 5 judge now, put it in join the man, mamma, Nagan, only you call Ghana. What you do later, overcame you are clean PP, national, like you see in this engagement, PP engagement, in your book, Mobiano, into a man from 5 1 to me and catch him, baby.
Madasi, Bissum Brabby, good evening.
Good evening.
My pacha was a baby kasa free.
Man, myself, you. Your best, Jonathan Buer.
Jonathan, I have a question.
Your best, say, obedi free education, but what's on yet? Na emom aka to 3 million and I got a pad. On the moment, that's in free education. Ghana for yes and part.
Madasi, Bissumbre, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Boss, wasn't a baby free.
But you come out of the control.
Come here, young call 40 seconds.
But you meet your open come in, sir. You mention. If you open, you know, I ain't someone so you mention so. But your money, yeah. Upon the Thomas son, I said there on Fun Haya question is car. Now, the paying no also this car. The year I hear $1 billion or he's got away. I work as a one message. Every has messed up with everything in this country. Now, since you are working, obey ye maybe I can allow you got to put your good food in the column. But I say,
Master Badase, last caller, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Boss, who's in the back as a free?
You, me, boss, or from Madam, you're from Jennifer, Canfa.
As a Jennifer, you'd say,
You, Mr. Boss, Master New Woodin. Let me see a former MC, my man, place, I hand. Mr. Papa, maybe I will be a young couple to Nunquim. Chair, Ghana, what they want. You see, before, my cat or mamma of one that won't go to one lighting. Chair. And you may yet think I'm for come about 8 months, or be Musu that so that you are the water bill or the planner. Major, if it's in November, me Musu, what water bill I blame my pipe on a me Musu, a map, call almost 4,000 made to will and me use to will and so. Me you want to ban a pipe on a long man, so I can't away with him, while blame my laming Musu. Last month, me Musu, why some of the water bill abba. It's Mr. Wonk won't watch him. And you be yellow one question, no one wants you one come on, what the one more light. If you ask what are your friends are not one question.
Thank you, Mammy, that I said you very way. Ghana for now, Casa, in fact, my time in a crack, cinema call a year, me paying for one channel, you just 2 minutes now, I wrap up on the show. Angato.
Munia.
Only 2 minutes per, what's happening with you?
John Jinapo, Kasana Ados.
Okay.
So, them okay, ranting and explanations, union problem. A corner of a father, Ubenya demisicano, no water, oil crude, another gas, other power generation plants, no Zama ECG, not ECG Sama, on your demazino. As for reducing their system losses, no catch it, he will do it in 90 days. We feel aware, but still make sure that the margin wide in it. You see, I'm your beer. When you use words on me, I reply you with the same words. Say to myself, when I said the external volatility sometimes so bad, on my work economy no, will shake. Na the manzamano. And you see, when COVID came, either because of about the year 2020 and we suffered, and I said, I experienced the year 2024 because some of the economy will what sink, and after that, then I revive. So you tell the person there, you have a problem. Other make there, external shocks can have effect on the economy. Next there, external shocks and as I prepare today, a problem. I'll give you the same poison. Lastly, Namonko. Here, Miss You Bida,
yes,
urban city stability now, another urban former. And then the first time I be seen, EBS Bida, and I've given you even one, I'm Dr. Mamumba, or the key number IGP, don't own keep my city near the
I got to me say,
and see, Sabio, yeah, academic seminar, and last number we. What academic seminar within 4 or 5 months, when something is positive, they take the credit. When things are going wronger, they blame the MPP. One quarter, 1 year, the matter.
Point well noted, Uncle Atona Yatene Kano, say no din. No more was to it now.
Well, every economy is built on buffers. Buffer shock absorbers, so economy not to monoma with too much generado. If economy no to monum, no you'll be no call baby. It means that it doesn't have buffer. And I don't see how able to describe the situation.
Okay.
2, my check, at least my joy online. Honorable John Jinapo, Wafani JJ, Nancy Mokanya there. NDC, within the first 100 days, will work toward reducing the system losses. 100 days.
Yes.
Today, there is no publication of the system losses of ECG. Compare. There is no publication. Osman.
Yes, sir.
What time we took 3 areas. In fact, discussion on the Parliamentary Select Committee cabinet decision. Cabinet is working on it. Also, when they finish, was Baba. Abandon some more kind there. There are certain institutions, say ekade wonko twon light more about affecting him.
Yes.
Institution now we in acquire security installations.
Yes.
Health. Na education.
Yes.
Also education and ohun wa ya baby amofo no busuaze. Na baby awabada wo twon light him. Nti eho when meter or you separate. But won do nkade administration block. Ebi mporo kwa obadan na air conditioner su da kofie. Ono so nya hene do ha. Nti obandama when they go into the institution, ECG for ntwa dama identify areas and health is in baby away surgery. Baby ankofo that the ward. Why identify the men the money nyina ono ho adwuma na wo baye. Nti obi a obani tim keka de. O che de obaye bed na abra awofon oye na asama. Sebi tafeche wontwa wo light ma. O ze na oye bed. Mbacho man send as bi ama. Wo WhatsApp do.
Okay.
Now there I want me sending a winning time because in a epic calls. But it's a fun so when hear the madi and Sunday as if ya. Into one ever can na ameman can.
But you can answer this is.
Ameman can.
I can see here.
Ghana as of 2017 MPP badon. Na the energy sector. A kawa yezen or $2.5 billion. Abaniya okra dani. Oil fee power 2025. The debt in the energy sector or your $12.4 billion. Masan na mo ihuni
mehu yes.
Ke MPP bi kasa wase. MPP panyin bi wogwa na ba o kasa wase hwe. Enwudi no wase na. Ebudi na obi wogwa he bi anyim de o MPP kasa.
George Kojo Oprim Kwansa.
However, people are saying there, I want to buy a cow. Now, was a cow of 2.5 billion. Now, if you are burning away to 12.4 billion, the mean pay us on why I did the domain. I hear Bomusu.
Some of that say, your friends who are. I am here doing about sound so your barber to the beginning. I am man who don't see and I'm breathing for my using come on. Now you bring where my friend has been farmer Max by Ghana Limited Game Park Cool Chop. I feel loan out to Soka Hubi, anointed engineering. And I bet to a bet influencer. And the master friend has been from my high sense for her day. I mean, it's been a wonderful 3 hours waiting in the baby Suha. I say no, the Kobina Isa. And I feel Mr. Sam so baby and why anything come over if you had a my madam production team now led by Mr. Bernardo Go. DJ Black who's boy at Mesia to me online so watching team friends was my end. And I'm also message you time from Osman Adam from Osman the Venga Majo do. I feel lastly I will tell program where I will text message I will to me for super the wasi. Ya so na ya kwa ba ukase free me yin fi hade bombozi mo under ha yakopon na adoma Monday will be back on your radio with me ma hodo. However, the rest of the programs will continue on Kastle 90.3 FM. And to have a wonderful evening.